If you would like to get your song reviewed, dear listener, there's the filthy capitalist option. As Sori says, 125 gets you straight to the head of the line. You don't have to be a part of the alliance. You don't have to be part of the group.
Wait a minute.
And the biggest thing is you don't have to wait. You hop, skip, and jump right in front of everybody. 125 gets you there. You do that 3 times, and you get mashed down to the $75 rate for perpetuity.
Yes!
Also, there is a band review option. So if you've got a band and you're trying to get your band some exposure, hit me up at villageXchange@gmail.com, and I'll show you the details about how to pull that off.
You can also jump on Patreon, and there is a option on the tiers to be able to get your band reviewed. Yep. Obviously, we can't lie to you, so we can't guarantee a positive review. Get what you get.
It's just rubbish.
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 That's British for garbage.
My favorite is the community option. $1 at the gate gets you in at Patreon. You get to join an alliance. The alliance joins their points together, and that helps determine what songs that we do.
The alliances hang out on Discord.
Message me on Patreon to get the link.
And they do all kinds of other cool things. They do Minecraft, Dungeons and Dragons.
Yeah. It's really a community within the community. Anybody can go on the village, facebook.com/Vin and Sori. There's 160,000+ people on the channel. What's cool about the Discord is that it offers a real opportunity for community connection, friendship, that type of thing.
And it's on Discord, so if you're not a Facebook person, it's for you.
You start off at $1.
Right.
Plus you get exclusives. Sori and I are working on a song. So the first 15 seconds of that was on Patreon. Also, at $15 tier and above, when we actually debut the video, they're going to be there live with us. There you are, dear listener.
Buy our merch.
Buy our merch indeed. A child shall lead them.
King Crimson, 21st century schizoid man?
I think so, yeah.
Here is a UK progressive rock band, King Crimson, released by Island Records in 1969 as the opening track on their debut album, In the Court of the Crimson King. Guitarist Robert Phillip once dedicated this song to the U.S. Vice President Spiro Agnew. I didn't even know that was one of our vice presidents. At a concert. Did you?
Yes.
Who was he with? Who was the president?
I don't know.
Okay, well then it couldn't have been that.
On that was 21st Century Schizoid Man by the band. What's the name of the band? King
Crimson.
Crimson, I believe.
All right.
Okay, go for it.
Okay.
Overshadow Sean!
I was not watching the lyrics at all, so don't ask me about the lyrics.
Okay.
This song, first of all, I'm pretty sure, you know the part where it's going,
Yeah.
That part? You remember how on the keyboards there was those different settings, so you could play here, you could do jazz, you could do I'm pretty sure that there was one of the settings on there that had something very similar to that would like start and stop, because my brother used to do this thing where he would like do this ridiculous dancing all over the place, and then the minute it would stop, he'd have to stop. When he was like, I don't know, probably like 8 or something. Anyway, so it reminded me of that. And it was such a cute part of the song. I understand, like, okay, so Schizoid Man, we're talking about somebody who's, suffers from schizophrenia.
Yeah.
And I don't know what it would be like to live in a world like that. I know that when I watch movies or shows...
I don't think it's someone. I think it's an entire generation is suffering from schizophrenia. That's why he calls it 21st century. So I don't think he's talking about a single individual. I think he's talking about that we're all collectively crazy.
Oh, well. Yeah, I mean...
like man is like a stand-in for mankind.
Yeah, okay.
And then it says 21st century. So it looks to me like it's talking about a system that's driven us all crazy.
Yeah.
Or is the argument participating in the system is inherently crazy itself? I don't know which one.
Oh, wow, okay. Yeah. I was just going to say, I don't know.
That was my thoughts on it.
I don't know what that's like, but when they kind of show it on different shows and stuff, you kind of see like the person, like that seems like a really troubled way to live. And the music was all over the place, you know what I mean? But it had some order to it.
The music was schizophrenic itself.
Yeah, I kind of felt like it was all over the place.
That's what it was trying to communicate, was a certain like detached reality type of feeling.
Yeah.
And yeah.
But what category of music is this?
This would be prog, right? It sounds like progressive to me. The prog, they do all this experimental stuff.
Yeah.
They throw everything at the wall. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. I felt like it worked for this song because the whole point is that you're schizo, you're not really in tune with reality. Well, you are and you're not, and there's like with I hate saying it, like with Kanye, like he's crazy but he's also a genius. Like there's a method. If you can figure out the logic, it's consistent with itself. Mm-hmm. Even though the base premise might be completely off. Yeah. And you might be completely out to lunch, but you're still consistent with yourself, with your insanity. And so, like, there's this, like, on the one hand, it's kind of random and crazy and chaotic, but on the other hand, it's very ordered, Alvin said something that's really interesting. Can this song be played more than once in the same way? It sounds like improv. And he's right. Like, I get the
that's so funny. I thought the same thing.
Yeah, I get the feeling if we heard this song live,
yeah,
it would not sound like what sounds on the record.
Yeah.
And then if you hear it again in Nebraska, it's going to be different. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, which is also very, very fascinating to me. Because you still have, like, the general outline of what the song is, but you can fiddle around and do a whole bunch of different stuff, inside of it. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with that. And it felt like, when you see asymmetrical art or where like the eye could be down here and the lips up at the eyebrow point. Mm-hmm. What type of art is that called?
Say that again?
It's right on the tip of my tongue. The type of art where like the lip might be up here and the nose over here.
Oh, like Picasso, like the way that he did it?
Yeah, but they call it something I can't remember. But anyway, to me, this song was like that. It was like the music version of that. Like, you don't know what you're getting and it's all over the place, but it's all there. It just, the order's a little...
Yeah, blood rack, barbed wire, politician's funeral pyre, innocents raped with napalm fire.
Yeah.
I cannot stand that verb, but, I mean, I guess. So, what year was this again?
69.
69. So, we're still in Vietnam. So, napalm was a big thing in Vietnam. Mm-hmm. And you're essentially burning people alive. I mean, it's a pretty inhumane way to kill somebody. But you can cover a large area in a very short period of time.
Yeah.
And on top of that, Vietnam was a very it's a almost like a Caribbean environment, and so the land itself was an enemy because those people they knew that place like the back of their hand, and so there are a lot of nooks and crannies. So we were also using napalm to just clear out whole portions of the area so folks would it was a pretty horrible situation. And at some level, like when you talk about a defense budget, like, oh, we've got a defense budget, it's like you're literally buying bombs to kill other people. Like when you and I go to work, we work and whatever, and we pay our taxes, the government takes a cut of our money to create bombs and missiles that are going to kill other human beings. So there's a sense in which like all of us are really crazy.
Yeah.
That we're living in this world where we're financing the death of other people that we don't know.
Yeah. Yeah. And
I don't think you can get crazier than that. But simultaneous to that, we all have this routine. We get up, we go to work, we do all these different things. So this chaos is happening all around us and we're contributing to it. But at the same time, there's sort of like this stasis of everyday life, which I think is the point of this the Schizoid man, which is like you're out of touch with reality as far as the ramifications of the choices and the decisions that you're making. That you're fucking out to lunch. You don't know what you're doing. And I think I think Vietnam was probably the first time like the regular American citizenry said, wait a second.
Well, yeah, I mean, that's the other crazy thing, too, is that if we were given the choice every paycheck, do you want to give this money away for war? There's so many people that would say, absolutely not. But it's happening, and we vote that way, and we just kind of, it's weird, because individually, a lot of us would say no.
It's really fascinating watching this Russia stuff, because it's like, when I say, well, what about the Russian people? What about Putin? Putin's got like an 83% success rate. And they're like, yeah, but they're watching state-run media. They're brainwashed. They're not able to,
Really? That's what they say?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
That's
and I don't necessarily think it's untrue. My problem is that Americans don't believe that they're brainwashed.
Right. That's what I thought was interesting about it.
So it's just the Russian people are brainwashed.
Ones. Okay.
They're the only ones. We're not. We were not convinced to go into an illegal war and kill a bunch of people. No. Only the Russians are brainwashed by their media. Our media tells us the truth. That's the reason why our president immediately stood up a Ministry of Truth after once Elon threatened to ungate Twitter and make Twitter more equitable. See, to me, like people are like, oh, this is a conspiracy theory that Twitter has a certain kind of bent. No, the fact that our government initiated this Ministry of Truth bullshit right after Elon bought it validates every single quote conspiracy theory by people about Twitter, right? Because if that was a concern, then Elon should have nothing to do with it. They should have been doing this a year or two ago. Like when they told us the Hunter Biden laptop thing wasn't real and they suspended a news outlet, like. But we're not brainwashed. Nope, just the Russians. The Russians are brainwashed. Ridiculous. Social media is our last hope for not being brainwashed. It's the only ability we have to where a person in Russia, a regular citizen in Russia, can talk to a citizen in Ukraine, can talk to an American citizen. So I've been in those chats, which has been really fascinating when you got Russian, Americans, and Ukrainians are talking. Our media is telling us we're supposed to be at each other's throats or we're supposed to take sides with the Ukrainian against the Russian. But when the three of us get together, embracing our own collective humanity, the insanity goes away. And that's the reason why these people are terrified about managing social media and trying to, and these fascistic attempts to curtail people's speech, because social media throws a giant spoke into the wheel. Because now we're not just slavishly taking in their information. Now, hey, so like if you don't think, I don't care how much of a free thinker you think you are. I'm sorry, but our perception of so many things is dominated by a media, and the media has nobody to hold them accountable. Like, it's really funny. Like, I go back and forth with you about the moon landing and things of that nature. It's like, how do we know? How do we know any of this? These people lie to us about everything. It's unbelievable. So yeah, it's really interesting stuff. Alden says, "What is the Ministry of Truth? What did I miss?" Yeah, Alden, just Google Ministry of Truth. You'll see. Russians are brainwashed, but they know it. Americans are the most brainwashed people in the world, and they're oblivious to it, and that's what makes it ironic. Yeah, that's true. The thing is, if the Russian knows they're brainwashed, then at that level, they're not brainwashed.
Yeah.
A really brainwashed person believes that their vision of reality is the reality.
Yeah.
Right? That's what a brainwashed person is. But if you can step outside of your own consciousness and comment on your consciousness, that's a real deep level of consciousness that tells me that person has more of a chance of grasping actual reality than another person. But yeah, really, really interesting.
Okay, so what are you giving this song?
That is a fascinating question.
Yeah, I'm having a little trouble.
River, there are literal mirrors on the moon? How do we know
I read that. I thought that was
How do we know there are literal mirrors on the moon? Yeah. How do we know that?
Yeah.
That's a serious question.
And I don't even see how would that help us. Oh, if we could see the mirrors, then we'd know we went there to bring them? Is that what he's saying?
I don't know. Okay, what do I give this song? First of all, that initial... What do you give it?
A spiraling 7 to 9 score.
A spiraling what? I've never
7 to 9 score.
7 to 9?
Spirals up to 9 and spirals back down to 7, and it's all over the place within there.
Oh, okay.
It's a once in a lifetime score. 7 to 9.
I've never heard of such a score.
A spiraling 7 to 9.
A spiraling 8.75 for me. No, you use a laser to bounce off the position where they place them. It's fairly simple. I see. But where are you getting that information from, though, Riv? Where, River? Where? I believe we landed on the moon. I'm just saying, epistemically, there's no way for us to know that we actually landed on the moon. Mm-hmm. We are taking a bunch of people's word for it, is what I'm saying. Okay. 8.75, a spiraling 7 to 9. I've never heard this score before. But we've got more music for you coming up there. Listen to Vin out.
Sorry out.
Gone.